This is Mr. Stalder, principal here at St. Stephen Catholic School, and I'm so excited for the Christmas season to be upon us. Advent has been a beautiful time of preparation, and it's so clear that many of the students are preparing by their scripture, their readings, and their singing. I can hear them singing down the hallway, uh, but also in preparation for Christmas, they did an awesome job at their Lessons and Carols program. It was such a great turnout. We had over 150 people present for that program. Such an awesome outpouring of love for our students, and they showed up and showed out at the Lessons and Carols. So I'm so proud of them. And during this break, we're going to also get into the 2026 school year, 2026 year, which means that we have to start thinking about the next school year already. And I want to prepare for the 26-27 school year already so that you're informed and that I can provide specific tuition information about the 26-27 school year so that we can all be prepared, planned, and ready to move forward with the mission that we have here at St. Stephen of academic excellence, discipleship formation, growth in virtue, and service with mercy. So I want to take a few minutes of your time to share the tuition for 26-27, the incentives that exist, some of the important deadlines, and how the fees will work. But before I share all of that information, I want to offer context, financial context, about the true cost of education at St. Stephen. Last school year, the actual cost to educate one student was $6,682.76. The estimated cost for the 25-26 school year we're in right now, is $7,222.23. As you can tell, that does not match the tuition rates or the per pupil payments that our average families pay, or even our families who pay in full tuition. They don't pay that. Our parish plays a critical role in making this education possible. Each year, the parish generally provides over $1,000. It's actually closer to $2,000 per child, and it's approximately $170,000 total as a baseline subsidy to reduce the gap between the true cost to educate and tuition families pay. And that's before any tuition assistance or multi-child discounts are applied. So the parish is already giving a significant amount off of the top. And that's why this partnership between family tuition and parish support is what allows us to offer an affordable, high-quality Catholic education rooted in faith, community, and strong academics. And so the goals for this 26-27 school year are as follows. Number one, affordability and transparency. We're committed to making tuition understandable and predictable so families know exactly how rates are set and what supports are available. Two is strengthening retention through incentives. Families who continue their journey with St. Stephen deserve this recognition, deserve to uh, have this retention strengthened by these incentives. So hopefully these incentives will help support family stability and long-term planning. Number three is a simplified tuition structure. We've streamlined the model, make it clear, consistent, easy to follow. And number four is promoting early enrollment. Early enrollment gives us as a school information so that we can plan appropriately for the coming year and future years. Making sure that we're supporting our students and our teachers, help us planning staffing, curriculum, and resources responsibly. So there's some marketing priorities as well. We're of course focused on early enrollment and retention. This early enrollment allows families to receive the biggest savings. That's what you're going to see in these incentives. And then the other marketing priority that's very key for our school is kindergarten conversion. We plan to meet with pre-K4 families to guide them through the transition to kindergarten and highlight the benefits of continuing their child's Catholic education at St. Stephen. And then you're going to continue to see postings on social media and other places highlighting alumni, student stories, parent testimonials. You're going to see that in the parish, as I said, social media, parish events. You're going to see these things. So I want you to keep your eyes out for community visibility as well. Our enrollment fee for the 26-27 school year is $200 per family, pre-K to 8th grade. It is non-refundable and there's no early registration discount. For the tuition structure, as I mentioned earlier in the video, early enrollment matters. A family's tuition rate is determined by the date they fully complete enrollment. So full completion of enrollment includes submission of all required forms and payment of the enrollment fee. So not just the application, but also full enrollment and the enrollment fee paid. The early enrollment deadline is February 27th, 2026. If a child is enrolled, or your family is enrolled on or before February 27th, the family will secure the early enrollment rate. If a family enrolls February 28th or later, the family will receive the standard rate. For the kindergarten through 8th grade, the tuition rates are as follows. For early enrollment, a family with one child, $6,000. A family with two children, $10,000. Three children, $13,600. That is the early enrollment by February 27th, 2026. Now, new to this year is each additional child after 3 is going to be covered by tuition assistance. This is also to incentivize new, larger families who are thinking about transferring to St. Stephen to transfer here. Large families means more enrollment. This is something that is a priority for our strategic plan moving forward. If a family enrolls, re-enrolls, or a new family enrolls February 28th or later, they will receive and secure a standard tuition rate. The standard tuition rate for one child, February 28th or later, for complete enrollment, $6,500, $11,100 for 2 children, 3 children, $15,400. And each additional child after those 3 will be covered by tuition assistance. The preschool tuition structure is very similar. If a family, a preschool family enrolls children by February 27th, 2026, the preschool family will secure the tuition early enrollment rate of $3,800. This is for 5-day preschool, 8 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. The preschool tuition for the standard rate, February 28th or later, for enrollment is $4,200. So once again, just like the K-8 tuition rate, the preschool tuition rate is secured if a family is enrolled by February 27th, 2026. One of the pieces of note that I want to point out is that based on surveys of our families, approximately 95% of our families identify as Catholic from grades K through 8. As a result, we are eliminating for this year the Catholic versus non-Catholic rate. If the percentage changes in the future at different years, we will reconsider what the tuition rate and structures will look like, just like we do every year. We look at that. However, for this school year, our rate was so high that it disproportionately affected our non-Catholic families, and especially our families who are mission-driven but may not be Catholic. And so instead, our incentive and focus is upon the early enrollment. That is our priority right now. So, as you can tell, the difference between one child early enrollment versus one child standard enrollment for K-8 tuition rate is $500. That is a significant difference. So we want to encourage families to re-enroll, and we also want families who are interested in St. Stephen to enroll quickly. And $500 is, in my opinion, and based on the feedback from other stakeholders, a significant incentive per pupil. So those are the tuition rates for the 2026-2027 school year. I mentioned that there are also other incentives. The pre-K4 to kindergarten incentive is something that we, as St. Stephen, reviewed with stakeholders, reviewed with the advisory board, parish members, and the conversion from pre-K4 students to kindergarten students was an important piece. So if a family who is a current pre-K4 family rising to kindergarten, so the incoming kindergartner will be enrolled in the 26-27 school year, that family will receive a $500 tuition discount if enrollment is completed by February 27th, 2026. For new kindergarten families, so this we want to not only retain our returning families, we also want new kindergarten families to be joining us as well. If a new kindergarten family joins and fully enrolls by February 27th, 2026, they will receive a $1,000 incentive toward tuition. If a new kindergarten family enrolls after February 28th, there is a $500 incentive for this new kindergarten family. So we want to share out that there are incentives for our community to be receiving both internally and externally for new kindergarten families for the 26-27 school year. There is a final grade level incentive. We recognize that our incoming second grade class projects to be small, just like it was for the 25-26 school year, and just as it was in the 24-25 school year. So the incoming second grade, there is a $1,000 enrollment incentive for new and returning families if the family has an incoming second grader. We want to retain our families who are entering the second grade. We are also interested in filling that class. A major question you may have is why kindergarten and second grade incentives? These incentives support two strategic needs. One is that our kindergarten is the most important entry point and strengthens long-term enrollment. We think about a kindergartner entering school, they are most likely to stay with the school. They're most likely to stay here at St. Stephen throughout their time if they enter into kindergarten. So it is our most important entry point. And those kindergartners are most likely to stay for 9 years. Second grade has the potential to move from a combined class to 2 homerooms if enrollment increases enough. Incentivizing this grade supports that possibility. Now, just because we get a few more incoming second graders does not guarantee that these classes will split, but this incentive gives an increased pathway for us as a school to entertain that possibility. We want to set ourselves up for success, and this is an investment in seeing that this second grade class is going to be a third grade class, fourth grade class, fifth grade class, sixth grade class, seventh grade class, right? This is a 2032 consideration. This is a long-term investment in grade 2. So that's why those 2 grades are being targeted for incentives. It is a strategic and intentional design to support our young the youth of our school and long-term sustainability and long-term success. This year, we are also offering a referral program. It is a $300 tuition credit for each new family referred, and this is applied for the following year. So if a family enrolls for the 26-27 school year, the family that referred them will receive $300 if that new family remains in the school for the 26-27 school year, and for the 27-28 school year, that referring family will receive $300. So that incentivizes the families to refer, and also allow incentivizes that family to keep the referred family in St. Stephen for the referral program tuition credit. There are two service fee and payment considerations. There's a $100 discount if paid in full by April 1st, 2026. There's a $50 discount if full tuition is paid by July 1st of 2026. And one other piece that I want to bring to your attention is the raffle ticket policy. Our parish, St. Stephen Parish, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, generously subsidizes over $1,000 per student. It's actually closer to about $2,000 per student right off the top to help cover the true cost of education. Parish raffle is a major part of what makes this subsidy possible. Each family will receive 4 parish raffle tickets sometime in May of 2026, and each ticket costs $50, a total value of $200. Families may sell these tickets or purchase them directly. Families will be charged $50 for each ticket not sold or returned by the school deadline. So the school deadline is Monday, September 28th. Monday, September 28th, 2026. And that allows time for the parish to process the tickets before the drawing on October 3rd of 2026. Now, out of fairness to families enrolling late, they will not have enough time, in our opinion, to be able to sell these tickets. So families enrolling after August 1st, 2026 will not receive tickets and will not be charged. So it's a zero-sum gain there. But the participation for families enrolled directly supports the parish subsidy initiative that helps keep tuition significantly lower than the cost to educate each child. Now, I do want to point out a few tuition assistance opportunities. The first and most important one is the Archdiocese of Detroit tuition assistance. The application is already open. The application opened on December 15th. There are some requirements. You need to upload a tax return. You need to fill out some information. If there are additional pieces, like if there's child support or if there's other interesting situations, family dynamics may be impacting how this is filled out, please reach out to myself or Mrs. Ozium in the front office. We're happy to help. We want to make sure that this is a smooth transition and smooth application. One of the things I want to point out is that the deadline for the Archdiocese tuition assistance is the same deadline as our tuition rate lock for early enrollment. So February 27th is the deadline for the Archdiocese of Detroit tuition assistance. It's the same deadline as our early enrollment deadline. There are other options and additional supports for tuition assistance. The Brighter Future Endowed Fund, they've provided somewhere around $500 per student based on the applications. Some families get zero, some get $1,000. It just depends on your application. We had a family receive the St. Martin de Porres scholarship this past year. I was happy to fill that out on behalf of them. Now, if all of those tuition assistance don't get you to 50%, and you've been receiving tuition assistance, if you're a returning family, you need to apply for the Archdiocese tuition assistance if you want to be considered for the St. Stephen internal tuition assistance. That allows us to have enough information to determine what is the amount of need that a family has. We want to provide support. We also recognize that tuition is outside of the parish subsidy, everything else is tuition driven. And so, if a family can pay, they should pay. This is an investment in the child's education, in your education. Catholic education, especially at St. Stephen, transforms our students. It makes a major difference in their lives. You see it, we hear it in their prayers, in their songs, in their studies. We hear it. So, returning families, if you are applying for the St. Stephen tuition assistance, you need to have your application to the Archdiocese of Detroit in so that we can find out like how much need do you have. Um, and if there's additional need outside of what the AOD provides, we're happy to provide that. The other part of the St. Stephen tuition assistance is if your family suffers a major tragedy at home, or if there is a significant family shift in what's going on from when you originally applied. So something happens in your life, we want to give that due consideration and we want to support if we can. There are families who go through difficult times throughout the school year. So if there's opportunities, we want to know how we can help. So please fill that out. If something happens throughout the school year, it is not just for the normal cadence of the school year. Feel free to fill that out and bring that to the front office. You can find the tuition assistance for St. Stephen application on our website. So it's taken a lot of work to design this plan with clarity, fairness, and family support in mind. This structure ensures we will remain financially healthy, continue to offer strong programming, and plan staffing responsibly while remaining faithful to our mission of forming disciples of Jesus Christ. Early enrollment not only provides the best tuition rate, but it also provides security, stability, and a strong start for your child and for our school. I'm here to answer questions you may have, and I want to thank you for your continued trust in St. Stephen Catholic School. We look forward to serving your family in the year ahead. Many blessings, many Christmas blessings to you. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have going forward. Many blessings. We'll talk soon.